Do you want to successfully complete the CompTIA Security Plus exam? Then you are in the right place. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, where thousands of students have found their path to exam success. Our website provides completely free access to over 300 practice questions with detailed explanations and comprehensive study guides covering every exam objective. Everything you need for success on your first attempt for free. In this video, we will cover questions from general security concepts, threats, vulnerabilities and mitigations, security architecture, security operations, and security program management and oversight. So, let's get started. 1. After discovering that a critical server was breached, a security team immediately restores the system from clean backups, applies missing security patches, and then returns it to production. What type of security control is being implemented? A. Deterrent control. B. Directive control. C. Preventive control. D. Corrective control. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer: D. Corrective control. Explanation. Option D is correct because corrective controls fix problems and restore systems after a security incident has occurred. The team is restoring from backups and patching vulnerabilities to fix the compromised system. Option A, deterrent control, is incorrect because deterrent controls discourage attackers by making them aware of consequences, like warning signs. The described actions don't deter attacks. Option B, directive control, is incorrect because directive controls specify required actions to comply with policies, like acceptable use policies. The described actions are responding to an incident, not providing direction. Option C, preventive control, is incorrect because preventive controls block problems before they happen. Since the server was already breached, these actions are corrective, not preventive. 2. A small accounting firm with only 3 employees can't implement separation of duties for financial transactions due to limited staff. Instead, they implement detailed logging of all transactions and hire an external auditor to review these logs monthly. What type of security control is being implemented? A. Compensating control. B. Preventive control. C. Physical control. D. Managerial control. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer: A. Compensating control. Explanation. Option A is correct because compensating controls provide alternatives when primary controls, in this case, separation of duties, can't be implemented due to business constraints. The detailed logging and external reviews compensate for the inability to separate duties. Option B, preventive control, is incorrect because preventive control stops security incidents before they happen. While the logging might have some preventive effect, its primary purpose is to compensate for the lack of separation of duties. Option C, physical control, is incorrect because physical controls secure the physical environment, like locks or security guards. The described control isn't related to physical security. Option D, managerial control, is incorrect because while policies might be involved, this isn't primarily about governance or management. It's specifically about compensating for the inability to implement separation of duties. 3. A bank's online system shows customers their current balance, but doesn't allow them to make transfers or pay bills due to a database server failure. Which element of the CIA triad has been compromised? A. Confidentiality. B. Integrity. C. Availability. D. Authentication. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Availability. Explanation. Option C is correct because availability ensures that information in systems are accessible when needed. In this scenario, customers can view their balance, but can't perform transactions due to a server failure, meaning full system functionality is unavailable. Option A, confidentiality, is incorrect because confidentiality, keeping information private, doesn't appear to be compromised. There's no indication of unauthorized access to account information. Option B, integrity, is incorrect because integrity, data accuracy and reliability, isn't described as being compromised. There's no mention of incorrect or altered data. Option D, authentication, is incorrect because authentication isn't part of the CIA triad. Additionally, the scenario doesn't indicate any problems with verifying users' identities. 4. A security engineer creates a fake database containing what appears to be credit card information. The database has no legitimate business purpose, but is monitored for access attempts. What type of security control is being implemented? A. Honeypot. B. Honey token. C. Zero trust control. D. Intrusion prevention system. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. Honey token. Explanation. Option B is correct because a honey token is a fake piece of data, like database entries, designed to detect unauthorized access. The fake credit card database fits this definition. It has no legitimate business purpose and exists only to detect attackers accessing data they shouldn't. Option A, honeypot, is incorrect because a honeypot is a complete system or application set up as a decoy, not just a database of fake information. Option C, zero trust control, is incorrect because zero trust is a security model that requires verification of all access attempts regardless of source, which doesn't describe this scenario. Option D, intrusion prevention system, is incorrect because an intrusion prevention system actively blocks detected threats rather than just monitoring for access attempts to fake data. 5. After implementing a major network security architecture change, what documentation should a security administrator update first? A. Employee training materials. B. Business continuity plan. C. Network topology diagrams. D. Software license inventory. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Network topology diagrams. Explanation. Option C is correct because network topology diagrams visually represent the architecture and security controls. After a major security architecture change, these diagrams must be updated first to ensure accurate representation of the current environment for security operations, monitoring, and future changes. Option A, employee training materials, is incorrect because while training materials may need updates, they're not the first documentation priority after architectural changes. Option B, business continuity plan, is incorrect because while the business continuity plan may eventually need updates, the network diagram should be updated first to accurately reflect the current environment. Option D, software, the license inventory, is incorrect because a software license inventory isn't directly impacted by network security architecture changes and wouldn't be a priority for immediate update. 6. A company is preparing to update their customer authentication system, which will require changes to multiple connected applications. Which of the following is most important to identify before implementing the change? A. The vendor's release schedule. B. System dependencies. C. Historical uptime statistics. D. Staff vacation schedules. Do you know the answer? Correct answer B. System dependencies. Explanation. Option B is correct because system dependencies identify relationships between systems where changes to one affect others. For an authentication system that connects to multiple applications, understanding these dependencies is crucial to prevent security breaches, unauthorized access, or service disruptions during the change. Option A, the vendor's release schedule, is incorrect because while vendor release schedules may be useful information, they're less important than understanding how the authentication system interacts with other systems. Option C, historical uptime statistics, is incorrect because historical uptime statistics, while valuable for planning maintenance windows, aren't as critical as understanding system dependencies for an authentication change. Option D, staff vacation schedules, is incorrect because while staff availability is a consideration for implementation timing, it's not as important as understanding the technical dependencies between systems. 7. A software developer is creating an application that will store user passwords. Which of the following represents the most secure approach for password storage? A. Encrypt the passwords using AES-256. B. Store password hashes with unique salts. C. Use symmetric encryption with a master key. D. Implement tokenization for each password. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Store password hashes with unique salts. Explanation. Option B is correct because storing password hashes with unique salts is the industry standard for secure password storage. Hashing is a one-way function, so even if the database is breached, the actual passwords cannot be retrieved. Adding unique salts prevents attackers from using rainbow tables or identifying users with identical passwords. Option A, encrypt the passwords using AES-256, is incorrect because encryption is reversible. Anyone with access to the encryption key could decrypt all the password, creating a single point of failure. Option C, use symmetric encryption with a master key, is incorrect because, for the same reason as Option A, symmetric encryption can be reversed with the master key. Option D, implement tokenization for each password, is incorrect because implement tokenization for each password is incorrect because tokenization is designed for preserving format and partial functionality, which isn't necessary for password storage and wouldn't provide the security benefits of properly salted hashing. 8. An organization needs to implement full disk encryption on all company laptops. Which of the following would be the best component to securely store the encryption keys? A. Key escrow service. B. Trusted platform module. TPM. C. Database encryption. D. Digital certificates. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Trusted platform module. TPM. Explanation. Option B is correct because a trusted platform module, TPM, is a hardware chip designed to securely store cryptographic keys, including those used for full disk encryption. The TPM protects the keys from extraction even if the hard drive is removed from the computer, ensuring that the encrypted data remains secure. Option A, key escrow service, is incorrect because while a key escrow service could store backup copies of the keys, it doesn't provide on-device hardware protection for day-to-day operation of the encryption system. Option C, database encryption, is incorrect because database encryption is a method of protecting data, not a component for storing encryption keys. Option D, digital certificates, is incorrect because digital certificates bind identities to public keys and aren't designed for storing full disk encryption keys. 9. An attacker gains access to an organization's email system and uses it to send convincing emails to the finance department, successfully tricking them into transferring $500,000 to an overseas account. Which threat actor motivation is most likely in this scenario? A. Espionage. B. Service disruption. C. Financial gain. D. Philosophical beliefs. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Financial gain. Explanation. Option C is correct because the attack is clearly designed to steal money through deception, making financial gain the primary motivation. The attacker used business email compromise techniques to directly obtain funds through fraudulent transfer. Option A, espionage, is incorrect because espionage involves gathering intelligence or sensitive information, which doesn't appear to be the goal of this attack. Option B, service disruption, is incorrect because service disruption involves preventing systems from functioning normally, while this attack kept systems operational to facilitate the fraud. Option D, philosophical beliefs, is incorrect because there's no indication of political, social, or philosophical motivation behind the attack. It appears purely profit-driven. 10. A company's public website is defaced with political messages criticizing the organization's environmental practices, and internal emails about their pollution policies are published online. Which type of threat actor is most likely responsible? A. Nation-state. B. Hacktivist. C. Organized crime. D. Shadow it. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Hacktivist. Explanation. Option B is correct because hacktivists are attackers who use their technical skills to promote political or social causes they believe in. The combination of public website defacement with politically motivated environmental messages and the publication of related internal emails is characteristic of hacktivist operations. Option A, nation-state, is incorrect because nation-states typically conduct covert operations focused on espionage or strategic advantage rather than public activism. Option C, organized crime, is incorrect because organized crime groups are motivated by profit, not environmental activism or public awareness campaigns. Option D, shadow IT, is incorrect because shadow IT refers to unauthorized systems or software used by employees, not an external attack group with political motivations. 11. An organization discovers malware on several employee workstations. Investigation reveals that the malware was delivered through macro-enabled Microsoft Word documents attached to emails that appeared to come from the company's HR department. Which threat vector was used as the initial attack entry point? A. Removable device. B. Email. C. Unsecured wireless network. D. Default credentials. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Email. Explanation. Option B is correct because email was used as the delivery mechanism for the malicious attachments. The attack utilized email as the initial threat vector to distribute the macro-enabled Word documents containing malware. Option A, removable device, is incorrect because the scenario describes malware delivered through email attachments, not through USB drives or other removable media. Option C, unsecured wireless network, is incorrect because nothing in the scenario indicates that unsecured wireless networks were involved in the attack. Option D, default credentials, is incorrect because default credentials weren't mentioned as part of the attack. The attack relied on malicious email attachments rather than exploiting unchanged default passwords. 12. A security administrator discovers that several employees have downloaded a mobile application that resembles the company's official HR app, but actually collects corporate credentials. The app used the company's logo and branding elements. Which type of social engineering technique was used in this attack? A. Watering hole. B. Typo squatting. C. Brand impersonation. D. Business email compromise. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Brand impersonation. Explanation. Option C is correct because brand impersonation involves creating fake versions of trusted brands to deceive users. In this scenario, the attackers created a counterfeit mobile application that mimicked the company's official HR app, using the company's logo and branding to appear legitimate. Option A, watering hole, is incorrect because a watering hole attack involves compromising legitimate websites frequented by the target audience, not creating fake applications. Option B, typo squatting, is incorrect because typo squatting involves registering domains similar to legitimate websites to catch typing errors, which isn't relevant to mobile app impersonation. Option D, business email compromise, is incorrect because business email compromise involves email-based attacks targeting businesses, typically by impersonating executives or vendors, not creating fake mobile applications. 13. A security team discovers malware that was installed during a system update from a trusted vendor. Further investigation reveals that attackers compromised the vendor's build infrastructure to insert malicious code before the update was digitally signed and distributed. Which type of vulnerability was exploited? A. Zero-day vulnerability. B. Malicious update. C. Firmware vulnerability. D. Buffer overflow. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Malicious update. Explanation. Option B is correct because a malicious update involves legitimate software updates that have been tampered with to include malware or backdoors. In this scenario, the attackers compromised the software vendor's build system to insert malicious code into official updates that were then digitally signed and distributed through normal channels. Option A, zero-day vulnerability, is incorrect because a zero-day vulnerability is an unknown security flaw without available patches. This scenario involves a compromised update process, not an unknown vulnerability. Option C, firmware vulnerability, is incorrect because firmware vulnerabilities affect the low-level software that controls hardware components. This scenario involves application updates, not firmware. Option D, buffer overflow, is incorrect because buffer overflow involves writing data beyond allocated memory buffers. This scenario describes supply chain compromise, not a memory handling issue. 14. A security analyst is reviewing logs and notices that two different users performed the exact same action on a sensitive file at the same time, resulting in corrupted data. The system was designed to allow only one user at a time to modify the file, but the check was performed before actually making changes. What type of vulnerability is most likely present? A. Buffer overflow. B. Race condition. C. ESCL injection. D. Cross-site scripting. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Race condition. Explanation. Option B is correct because race conditions occur when system behavior depends on the sequence or timing of uncontrollable events. This scenario describes a classic time of check / time of use TOC race condition where the system checks if an operation is allowed, verifying only one user is modifying the file, but then allows conditions to change before the operation is completed. Both users end up modifying simultaneously. Option A, buffer overflow, is incorrect because buffer overflow involves writing data beyond allocated memory space, not timing issues between operations. Option C, SQL injection, is incorrect because SQL injection involves manipulating database queries with malicious input, not timing vulnerabilities. Option D, cross-site scripting, is incorrect because cross-site scripting involves injecting malicious scripts into web pages, not timing issues between file operations. 15. A security analyst observes that a company's website is becoming increasingly slow and eventually becomes completely unresponsive. Network monitoring shows an unusually high volume of DNS response packets coming from multiple external DNS servers, yet the company made no corresponding DNS requests. Which type of attack is most likely occurring? A. Directory traversal. B. DNS poisoning. C. Reflected. DDoS. D. SQL injection. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Reflected DDoS. Explanation. Option C is correct because a reflected DDoS attack involves sending requests to third-party servers, in this case DNS servers, with the victim's spoofed address, causing those servers to send response traffic to the victim. The key indicators are the high volume of DNS response packets without matching request packets, multiple external sources sending similar traffic, and services becoming unresponsive due to the traffic volume. Option A, directory traversal, is incorrect because directory traversal involves accessing files outside intended directories, not flooding a system with network traffic. Option B, DNS poisoning, is incorrect because DNS poisoning involves corrupting DNS cache to redirect traffic, not generating high volumes of traffic from DNS servers. Option D, SQL injection, is incorrect because SQL injection involves manipulating database queries through input fields, not generating network traffic that overwhelms services. 16. During a routine security review, an administrator notices that files on a critical server have unusual timestamps, security software has been disabled, and there are unexplained outbound connections to unknown IP addresses. When using standard system tools like Task Manager, everything appears normal, but specialized security tools show hidden processes. Which type of malware is most likely present? A. Spyware. B. Rootkit. C. Trojan. D. Worm. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Rootkit. Explanation. Option B is correct because rootkits are designed to obtain administrative access while actively hiding their presence. The key indicators are the inconsistencies between standard tools, showing nothing unusual, and specialized tools, revealing hidden processes, disabled security software, and unexplained connections that don't appear in standard monitoring tools. Option A, spyware, is incorrect because while spyware might create outbound connections, it typically doesn't focus on hiding processes from system tools or disabling security software. Option C, Trojan, is incorrect because while Trojans can disable security software, they don't typically have the advanced stealth capabilities to hide from Task Manager while being visible to specialized security tools. Option D, Worm, is incorrect because worms focus on self-replication and spreading across networks, not hiding their presence from system tools. 17. After a security incident, where an attacker compromised one department's systems and then moved laterally to access sensitive financial data in another department, what mitigation techniques should be implemented to prevent similar future attacks? A. application allow listing. B. Network segmentation. C. Encryption. D. Host-based intrusion prevention. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Network segmentation. Explanation. Option B is correct because network segmentation divides the network into isolated segments with controlled traffic between them, which directly addresses the lateral movement problem described in the scenario. By placing different departments on separate network segments with firewalls controlling traffic between them, an attacker who compromises one department would be prevented from easily moving to other departments. Option A, application allow listing, is incorrect because, while application allow listing would help prevent malicious software from executing, it doesn't specifically address the lateral movement between different department systems. Option C, encryption, is incorrect because encryption protects data confidentiality but doesn't prevent lateral movement through the network. Option D, host-based intrusion prevention, is incorrect because while host-based intrusion prevention might detect and block some attacks, it doesn't create the network boundaries needed to prevent lateral movement between departments. 18. A company is preparing to decommission several servers containing customer financial data. Which security measure is most important during this process? A. Updating the asset inventory to remove the servers. B. Performing secure data wiping or physical destruction of storage media. C. Recycling the hardware with an environmentally certified vendor. D. Installing the latest security patches before shutdown. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Performing secure data wiping or physical destruction of storage media. Explanation. Option B is correct because securely wiping or physically destroying storage media ensures that sensitive financial data is not accessible to anyone after the servers are decommissioned. This prevents data breaches from improperly disposed equipment. Option A, updating the asset inventory to remove the servers, is incorrect because while updating the asset inventory is necessary for proper record keeping, it doesn't address the security risk of sensitive data remaining on the decommissioned servers. Option C, recycling the hardware with an environmentally certified vendor, is incorrect because environmentally certified recycling is important for environmental compliance, but doesn't address the data security concerns. Option D, installing the latest security patches before shutdown, is incorrect because installing security patches before shutdown doesn't protect the data once the server is decommissioned and potentially in someone else's possession. 19. A company is implementing an infrastructure as code (IAC) approach for their cloud environment. Which of the following is the most significant security benefit of this architecture? A. Eliminating the need for security testing before deployment. B. Automatic encryption of all data without configuration. C. Consistent, reproducible infrastructure deployments with standard security controls. D. Prevention of all potential misconfigurations through automation. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Consistent, reproducible infrastructure deployments with standard security controls. Explanation. Option C is correct because a key security benefit of infrastructure as code is the ability to create consistent, reproducible deployments with standard security controls. This significantly reduces the risk of manual configuration errors, ensures security policies are consistently applied, and provides version control for infrastructure configurations. Option A, eliminating the need for security testing before deployment, is incorrect because IAC does not eliminate the need for security testing. Code-defined infrastructure still requires security validation before deployment. Option B, automatic encryption of all data without configuration, is incorrect because IAC doesn't automatically encrypt all data. Encryption still needs to be explicitly configured in the code templates. Option D, prevention of all potential misconfigurations through automation, is incorrect because while IAC reduces configuration errors, it doesn't prevent all potential misconfigurations. Errors in the code templates themselves could still lead to security issues. 20. A healthcare organization is implementing a hybrid cloud architecture where sensitive patient data must remain on-premises while less sensitive applications move to the cloud. Which of the following represents the greatest security challenge in this environment? A. Maintaining consistent security policies across both environments. B. Physical security of the on-premises data center. C. Ensuring cloud provider compliance with regulations. D. Managing service-level agreements for availability. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. A. Maintaining consistent security policies across both environments. Explanation. Option A is correct because maintaining consistent security policies across hybrid environments is one of the most significant challenges. Having different security controls, authentication mechanisms, or monitoring approaches between on-premises and cloud can create security gaps, policy enforcement difficulties, and potential vulnerabilities at integration points. Option B, physical security of the on-premises data center, is incorrect because while physical security is important, it represents a standard challenge for any on-premises environment rather than a unique challenge of hybrid architecture. Option C, ensuring cloud provider compliance with regulations, is incorrect because cloud provider compliance is primarily a vendor selection and contractual issue rather than an ongoing architectural challenge specific to hybrid environments. Option D, managing service-level agreements for availability, is incorrect because managing SLAs relates more to availability and performance rather than security, and doesn't represent the most significant security challenge in hybrid deployments. 21. Organization needs to ensure that administrators use a secure, monitored path when accessing sensitive servers in different security zones. Which security component should they implement? A. Load balancer. B. Jump server. C. Intrusion detection system. D. Web application firewall. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Jump server. Explanation. Option B is correct because a jump server, also called a jump box or bastion host, is specifically designed to serve as a secure gateway for administrative access to devices in different security zones. It provides a controlled, monitored path for all administrative connections, allowing for better security control and audit. Logging of administrator activities. Option A, load balancer, is incorrect because a load balancer distributes network traffic across multiple servers for improved availability and performance, but doesn't provide a secure, monitored path for administrative access across security zones. Option C, intrusion detection system, is incorrect because an intrusion detection system monitors for suspicious activity but doesn't provide a secure connection path for administrators to access servers in different security zones. Option D, web application firewall, is incorrect because a web application firewall protects web applications by filtering HTTP traffic, not providing secure administrative access to servers across security zones. 22. A security engineer is designing network security zones for a new corporate infrastructure. Which of the following should be placed in a DMZ? A. Internal employee database. B. Customer financial records. C. Public-facing web servers. D. Human resources systems. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Public-facing web servers. Explanation. Option C is correct because public-facing web servers should be placed in a DMZ, demilitarized zone, which is a semi-trusted network segment designed to host services that need to be accessible from untrusted networks, like the Internet, while providing some protection and isolation from the internal network. Option A, internal employee database, is incorrect because an internal employee database contains sensitive information and should be placed in a higher security zone with more protection, not in a DMZ where it would have greater exposure. Option B, customer financial records, is incorrect because customer financial records are highly sensitive and require maximum protection. They should be placed in a restricted security zone, not in a DMZ with direct external access. Option D, human resources systems, is incorrect because human resources systems contain confidential personnel information and should be placed in a protected internal zone, not in a DMZ where they would be more vulnerable. 23. A financial institution needs to protect credit card numbers in their customer database while maintaining the ability to process recurring transactions. Which data protection method is most appropriate? A. Hashing. B. Data masking. C. Tokenization. D. Geographic restriction. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Tokenization. Explanation. Option C is correct because tokenization replaces sensitive data, credit card numbers, with non-sensitive tokens, while storing the original data securely in a token vault. This allows the system to retrieve the actual credit card numbers when needed for legitimate recurring transactions, while keeping them secure at all other times. Option A, hashing, is incorrect because hashing is a one-way function that cannot be reversed. If credit card numbers were hashed, the system would not be able to retrieve the original numbers to process recurring transactions. Option B, data masking, is incorrect because data masking typically alters or hides portions of data for display purposes, but doesn't protect the entire value in storage, making it insufficient for comprehensive credit card protection. Option D, geographic restriction, is incorrect because geographic restriction limits where data can be stored or accessed, but doesn't address how to secure the data while still allowing its use for recurring transactions. 24. A company is retiring old servers that contain sensitive customer information. Which data protection approach should be implemented before the physical disposal of these servers? A. Encryption of all drives. B. Secure data wiping or destruction. C. Moving data to a public classification. D. Creating a hash of all files. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Secure data wiping or destruction. Explanation. Option B is correct because secure data wiping or destruction ensures that sensitive data cannot be recovered from decommissioned servers. Before physical disposal, all data should be permanently removed, or the storage media physically destroyed to prevent unauthorized access to the sensitive customer information. Option A, encryption of all drives, is incorrect because encrypting drives before disposal only protects the data if the encryption keys are properly managed and not included with the servers. Encryption alone doesn't remove the data from the drives. Option C, moving data to a public classification, is incorrect because sensitive customer information should not be reclassified as public, and changing classification doesn't remove the data from the servers being disposed of. Option D, creating a hash of all files, is incorrect because creating hashes of files would only verify data integrity but wouldn't remove sensitive data from the drives before disposal. 25. A company needs to establish a recovery site that can take over operations within 24 hours of a disaster, while minimizing costs. Which type of site would best meet these requirements? A. Hot site. B. Cold site. C. Warm site. D. Multi-cloud system. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Warm site. Explanation. Option C is correct because a warm site has some hardware and infrastructure in place, but isn't fully configured for immediate operations. It requires hours to days to become operational, matching the 24-hour requirement, and costs less than a hot site, while providing faster recovery than a cold site. This provides the best balance between recovery time and cost for the specified requirements. Option A, hot site, is incorrect because a hot site is fully equipped and ready for immediate operation, which exceeds the 24-hour requirement and would be more expensive than necessary. Option B, cold site, is incorrect because a cold site has minimal infrastructure and would likely take days to weeks to become operational, which wouldn't meet the 24-hour recovery requirement. Option D, multi-cloud system, is incorrect because a multi-cloud system is an approach to using multiple cloud providers rather than a specific type of recovery site, making it not directly comparable to the other options for this scenario. 26. During a recovery plan test, a team works through disaster scenarios by discussing their responses without actually performing recovery actions. Which testing approach does this describe? A. Simulation testing. B. Tabletop exercise. C. Failover testing. D. Parallel processing. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Tabletop exercise. Explanation. Option B is correct because a tabletop exercise is a discussion-based session where team members talk through their responses to simulated scenarios without actually performing recovery actions. It's guided by a facilitator who presents scenarios, and participants verbally describe what they would do rather than taking actual actions. Option A, simulation testing, is incorrect because simulation testing involves actually performing recovery procedures in a controlled environment, not just discussing them. Option C, failover testing, is incorrect because failover testing involves testing the actual transition from primary to backup systems, which goes beyond discussion to include real system changes. Option D, parallel processing, is incorrect because parallel processing involves running recovery systems alongside production systems to verify functionality, which includes actual system operations rather than just discussion. 27. A company allows employees to use their personal smartphones for work email and applications. Which security approach should the company implement to protect corporate data on these devices? A. Full device encryption managed by the IT department. B. Mobile device management with work profile containerization. C. Prohibit the installation of any personal applications. D. Require employees to use only company-issued security software. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Mobile device management with work profile containerization. Explanation. Option B is correct because mobile device management, MDM, with work profile containerization creates a separate, encrypted container for work data while respecting the personal nature of the device. This approach provides security for corporate data without excessively controlling the employee's personal device, which is appropriate for a BYOD, bring your own device scenario. Option A, full device encryption managed by the IT department, is incorrect because managing full device encryption on personal devices would be intrusive and inappropriate for a BYOD environment, as it would give the company control over personal data. Option C, prohibit the installation of any personal applications, is incorrect because prohibiting personal applications on personal devices would be overly restrictive and impractical in a BYOD environment, likely resulting in poor user compliance. Option D, require employees to use only company-issued security software, is incorrect because requiring only company-issued security software doesn't provide the comprehensive protection and separation between work and personal data that containerization offers. 28. A security team needs to test a suspicious file that was received as an email attachment without risking the corporate network. Which security technique should they use? A. Static code analysis. B. Sandboxing. C. Input validation. D. Code signing verification. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Sandboxing. Explanation. Option B is correct because sandboxing provides an isolated environment where potentially malicious files can be safely executed and analyzed without risking the corporate network. This is the ideal approach for testing suspicious email attachments. Option A, static code analysis, is incorrect because static code analysis examines source code without executing it, which wouldn't help determine if the attachment has malicious behavior when run. Option C, input validation, is incorrect because input validation is a technique for ensuring data meets expected criteria before processing it, which isn't relevant for analyzing a suspicious email attachment. Option D, code signing verification, is incorrect because code signing verification checks if code has been digitally signed by a trusted source, but many malicious files aren't signed at all, making this ineffective for analyzing suspicious attachments. 29. A system administrator discovers unauthorized software installed on several workstations in the marketing department. Which of the following asset management controls would have best prevented this situation? A. Regular vulnerability scanning. B. Software inventory verification. C. Application. Allow listing. D. Encryption of workstation hard drives. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. C. Application. Allow listing. Explanation. Option C is correct because application allow listing, also called whitelisting, would prevent users from installing unauthorized software by only allowing approved applications to run. This is a preventative control that would have stopped the unauthorized installations before they occurred. Option A, regular vulnerability scanning, is incorrect because vulnerability scanning would identify security issues in existing software but wouldn't prevent unauthorized software installation. Option B, software inventory verification, is incorrect because software inventory verification would detect unauthorized software after installation, but wouldn't prevent it from being installed in the first place. Option D, encryption of workstation hard drives, is incorrect because encrypting hard drives protects data confidentiality, but doesn't restrict what software can be installed on the workstations. 30. A company is selecting a new cloud service provider for customer relationship management. Which of the following should be included in the contract to best address security concerns? A. Permission to conduct penetration testing against the provider's infrastructure. B. Security requirements, breach notification timelines, and right to audit clauses. C. Requirement that the provider use specific hardware models. D. Prohibition on the provider using any open source components. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. Security requirements, breach notification timelines, and right to audit clauses. Explanation. Option B is correct because security requirements define the expected security controls, breach notification timelines, ensure prompt awareness of security incidents, and right to audit clauses allow verification of security practices. These contract elements provide comprehensive security governance for the cloud service relationship. Option A, permission to conduct penetration testing against the provider's infrastructure, is incorrect because permission to conduct penetration testing against the provider's infrastructure is often not allowed by cloud providers as it could impact other customers and is not a standard contract clause. Option C, requirement that the provider use specific hardware models, is incorrect because specifying hardware models is too prescriptive and doesn't address overall security requirements. The focus should be on security outcomes rather than specific implementation details. Option D, prohibition on the provider using any open source components, is incorrect because prohibiting open source components doesn't necessarily improve security and may unnecessarily limit the provider's ability to deliver quality service, as many secure solutions utilize open source components. Struggling with your IT certification exams? We've all been there. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, your ultimate resource for IT exam success. Find over 15,000 plus questions and answers. Join our thriving community of over 10,000 plus active students and the impressive 100% success rate with our premium exam support. Visit MyITCerts.com today and take first step towards guaranteed success. 31. A company has discovered a critical vulnerability in a legacy manufacturing system. The vendor is no longer in business, and the system cannot be taken offline without significant production impact. Which of the following is the most appropriate next step? A. Accept the risk and take no action. B. Immediately replace the system with a modern alternative. C. Implement compensating controls and document a formal exception. D. Disconnect the system from the network permanently. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. C. Implement compensating controls and document a formal exception. Explanation. Option C is correct because when a vulnerability cannot be directly remediated through patching or upgrading, implementing compensating controls, such as network segmentation, enhanced monitoring, or access restrictions, along with formal documentation of the exception, is the appropriate approach. This balances security needs with business continuity. Option A, accept the risk and take no action, is incorrect, because accepting the risk without any mitigating controls would be inappropriate for a critical vulnerability, even if direct remediation isn't possible. Option B, immediately replace the system with a modern alternative, is incorrect, because immediate replacement might not be feasible due to cost, compatibility, or operational concerns, especially for specialized manufacturing systems. Option D, disconnect the system from the network permanently, is incorrect because disconnecting a critical manufacturing system from the network permanently would cause significant business disruption and might not be necessary if proper compensating controls can reduce the risk to acceptable levels. 32. After applying security patches to several servers, what should a security administrator do next to ensure the vulnerability management process is complete? A. Update the asset inventory. B. Verify that the vulnerabilities were successfully remediated. C. Document lessons learned. D. Begin planning the next patch cycle. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. Verify that the vulnerabilities were successfully remediated. Explanation. Option B is correct because verification is a critical step after applying remediation measures. Without verifying that patches were successfully applied and the vulnerabilities are actually fixed, you cannot be certain that the security risk has been addressed. This is an essential part of the vulnerability management lifecycle. Option A, update the asset inventory, is incorrect because while updating the asset inventory is important, verifying the effectiveness of the remediation should be done first to ensure the vulnerabilities are actually fixed. Option C, document lessons learned, is incorrect because documenting lessons learned would come after verification confirms whether the remediation was successful or not. Option D, begin planning the next patch cycle, is incorrect because planning the next patch cycle should occur after verifying the current remediation was successful and completing the current cycle. 33. A security analyst notices that when investigating potential security incidents, the team struggles to correlate events across different systems because timestamps don't align. Which of the following should be implemented first to resolve this issue? A. Implement a SYM solution. B. Deploy agent-based monitoring. C. Synchronize time across all systems. D. Configure log aggregation. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Synchronize time across all systems. Explanation. Option C is correct because time synchronization across systems is essential for effective log aggregation and event correlation. Without synchronized clocks, security events from different systems cannot be accurately sequenced or related to each other, making it difficult to understand the timeline of an attack. Option A, implement a SYM solution, is incorrect because implement a SYM would help with correlation, but wouldn't solve the timestamp problem without time synchronization first. Option B, deploy agent-based monitoring, is incorrect because agent-based monitoring doesn't address the timestamp inconsistency issue directly. Option D, configure log aggregation, is incorrect because configure log aggregation would still suffer from misaligned timestamps, even if logs were collected in one place. 34. A healthcare organization needs to detect unauthorized access to patient records. Which combination of monitoring tools would be most effective for this specific scenario? A. Antivirus and netflow analysis. B. SNMP traps and vulnerability scanners. C. SYM and data loss prevention, DLP. D. Benchmarks and SCAP tools. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. SYM and data. Loss prevention. DLP. Explanation. Option C is correct because a SYM can correlate access logs from multiple systems to identify unauthorized access patterns, while DLP can monitor and control how sensitive patient data is being accessed and transferred. Option A, antivirus and netflow analysis, is incorrect because antivirus and netflow would help detect malware and unusual network traffic, but wouldn't specifically focus on record access. Option B, SNMP traps and vulnerability scanners, is incorrect because SNMP traps and vulnerability scanners would alert on network device events and security weaknesses, but not directly on record access activities. Option D, benchmarks and SCAP tools, is incorrect because benchmarks and SCAP tools helps ensure systems are configured securely, but doesn't provide real-time monitoring of access to records. 35. An employee leaves a company on bad terms. Which of the following actions should be taken first to maintain security? A. Delete all the employee's accounts immediately. B. Disable the employee's accounts and remove access rights. C. Change the passwords on all the employees' accounts. D. Review audit logs of the employees' recent activities. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Disable the employees' accounts and remove access rights. Explanation. Option B is correct because disabling accounts and removing access rights is the proper first step in deprovisioning. This immediately prevents access while preserving account information that might be needed for investigations or knowledge transfer. Option A, delete all the employees' accounts immediately, is incorrect because deleting accounts immediately could destroy important information and disrupt business processes. Option C, change the passwords on all the employees' accounts, is incorrect because changing passwords is insufficient, as the employee might have other access methods besides password authentication. Option D, review audit logs of the employee's recent activities, is incorrect because reviewing logs is important, but should follow account disablement to prevent further potential damage. 36. A security analyst notices that a long-time employee has accumulated access rights to multiple systems as they've changed job roles. What security issue does this represent? A. Federation problem. B. Permission creep. C. Authentication bypass. D. Account attestation failure. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. Permission creep. Explanation. Option B is correct because permission creep occurs when users accumulate excessive permissions over time as they change roles, without proper deprovisioning of unnecessary access. This violates the principle of least privilege. Option A, federation problem, is incorrect because federation problem relates to identity sharing across organizations, not accumulation of excessive permissions. Option C, authentication bypass, is incorrect because authentication bypass would involve circumventing the authentication process entirely. Option D, account attestation failure, is incorrect because account attestation failure would involve failure to verify identity or security requirements, not excessive permissions. 37. A security analyst needs to protect the company network from connections to known malicious domains that might be used for command and control or data exfiltration. Which of the following would be the most effective solution? A. File integrity monitoring. B. DNS filtering. C. Email. DKIM implementation. D. Web content filtering. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. DNS filtering. Explanation. Option B is correct because DNS filtering blocks connections to known malicious domains at the DNS resolution level, preventing devices from connecting to command and control servers or data exfiltration endpoints by blocking the actual domain lookups. Option A, file integrity monitoring, is incorrect because file integrity monitoring detects changes to files, but doesn't prevent connections to malicious domains. Option C, email DKIM implementation, is incorrect because email DKIM digitally signs outgoing emails to verify authenticity but doesn't block malicious domain connections. Option D, web content filtering, is incorrect because web content filtering typically focuses on HTTP/HTTPS traffic categories, which might miss non-web-based malicious domain connections. 38. A company wants to ensure only patched and compliant devices can connect to their corporate network. Which security enhancement should they implement? A. Web filter. B. Network access control. C. Intrusion detection system. IDS, D. File integrity monitoring. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Network access control. Explanation. Option B is correct because network access control, NACC, specifically verifies device compliance with security policies, such as patch levels and antivirus status, before allowing network access, which directly addresses the requirement. Option A, Web Filter, is incorrect because Web Filter controls access to websites, but doesn't verify device security compliance. Option C, Intrusion Detection System, IDS, is incorrect because IDS monitors for suspicious network activity, but doesn't control which devices can connect based on their security status. Option D, File Integrity Monitoring, is incorrect because File Integrity Monitoring detects unauthorized file changes, but doesn't control network access based on device compliance. 39. A security team has implemented several automation scripts that have become difficult to maintain as team members leave the organization. Which automation challenge does this scenario best illustrate? A. Single point of failure. B. Technical debt. C. Cost. D. Complexity. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Technical debt. Explanation. Option B is correct because technical debt refers specifically to the accumulation of maintenance and update requirements in automation systems over time, especially when knowledge is lost as team members leave, exactly what's described in the scenario. Option A, Single point of failure, is incorrect because single point of failure refers to critical failure points in automation, not maintenance challenges. Option C, Cost, is incorrect because cost relates to financial investments for automation, not maintenance difficulties. Option D, Complexity, is incorrect because complexity is related but less specific than technical debt for this situation, which involves the long-term maintenance burden from previous automation decisions. 40. A company wants to ensure that when cloud resources are deployed, they always include required security controls. Which automation benefit would this most directly provide? A. Enforcing baselines. B. Reaction time. C. Employee retention. D. Workforce multiplier. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. A. Enforcing baselines. Explanation. Option A is correct because enforcing baselines through automation ensures systems consistently meet minimum security standards, which directly addresses the need to include required security controls in all cloud deployments. Option B, reaction time, is incorrect because reaction time refers to responding quickly to security events, not enforcing controls during deployment. Option C, employee retention, is incorrect because employee retention relates to improving staff satisfaction, not ensuring consistent security controls. Option D, workforce multiplier, is incorrect because workforce multiplier refers to increasing team capacity, not specifically to enforcing security controls. 41. Which of the following activities is most important during the preparation phase of incident response? A. Creating forensic copies of affected systems. B. Developing an incident response plan. C. Analyzing malware samples. D. Conducting a post-incident review. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Developing an incident response plan. Explanation. Option B is correct because developing an incident response plan is a critical activity during the preparation phase, This plan establishes the procedures, roles, and resources needed to respond effectively to security incidents before they occur. Option A, creating forensic copies of affected systems, is incorrect because creating forensic copies is part of the analysis phase during an active incident. Option C, analyzing malware samples, is incorrect because analyzing malware typically occurs during the analysis or eradication phases. Option D, conducting a post-incident review, is incorrect because post-incident review is part of the lessons learned phase after an incident is resolved. 42. A security team has identified and contained a data breach. During the investigation, they discover the attacker exploited an unpatched vulnerability. What incident response phase should include implementing the missing patch? A. Analysis. B. Containment. C. Eradication. D. Recovery. Do you know the answer? Correct answer: C. Eradication. Explanation: Option C is correct because the eradication phase involves removing the threat and closing vulnerabilities that were exploited, which includes applying missing patches to eliminate the security gap that allowed the attack. Option A, analysis, is incorrect because analysis focuses on investigating the incident, not implementing fixes. Option B, containment, is incorrect because containment involves limiting damage, not fixing root causes. Option D, recovery, is incorrect because recovery focuses on restoring operations after the threat has been removed. 43. A company receives notification of potential litigation related to a security breach. Which of the following should the security team implement first? A. E-discovery process. B. Forensic imaging. C. Legal hold. D. Dashboard monitoring. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer: C. Legal hold. Explanation: Option C is correct because a legal hold should be implemented first when litigation is reasonably anticipated, as it preserves all relevant information by suspending normal retention policies and notifying data custodians. This ensures potential evidence isn't lost or destroyed. Option A, e-discovery process, is incorrect because e-discovery process follows after implementing a legal hold. Option B, forensic imaging, is incorrect because forensic imaging is part of evidence collection, but should be preceded by a legal hold. Option D, dashboard monitoring, is incorrect because dashboard monitoring doesn't address the legal preservation requirements. 44. A security analyst needs to determine how an attacker initially gained access to the company's network. Which log source would be most useful for identifying the entry point? A. Application logs. B. Metadata. C. IDS/IPS logs. D. OS security logs. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer: C. IDS/IPS logs. Explanation: Option C is correct because IDS/IPS logs specifically record detected attacks or suspicious activities against the network perimeter and internal systems, making them the most valuable for identifying the initial entry point or attack method used. Option A, application logs, is incorrect because application logs would be useful after compromise, but less likely to show initial entry. Option B, metadata, is incorrect because metadata provides context about data, but not network attack information. Option D, OS security logs, is incorrect because OS security logs would show system-level events after compromise, but are less likely to reveal the initial network entry point. 45. Which of the following roles has the authority to classify data and determine who should have access to it? A. Data custodian. B. Data owner. C. Security administrator. D. Data processor. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Data owner. Explanation. Option B is correct because data owners have ultimate responsibility for protecting specific information, including determining classification levels and authorizing access. They have the authority to decide how their data should be protected and who should have access. Option A, data custodian, is incorrect because data custodian implements security controls, but doesn't determine classification or authorize access. Option C, security administrator, is incorrect because security administrator manages security controls based on owner decisions, but lacks classification authority. Option D, data processor, is incorrect because data processor processes data according to controller instructions, but doesn't have authority over classification or access. 46. A regulatory agency has released new data privacy requirements. Which of the following should an organization do first to ensure compliance? A. Implement technical controls to enforce the requirements. B. Conduct a gap analysis between current policies and new requirements. C. Create a new data privacy policy. D. Form a committee to oversee the new requirements. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Conduct a gap analysis between current policies and new requirements. Explanation. Option B is correct because conducting a gap analysis is the logical first step when facing new regulations, as it identifies differences between current policies/practices and the new requirements. This assessment must be done before creating or updating policies and implementing controls. Option A, implement technical controls to enforce the requirements, is incorrect because implement technical controls should follow policy updates, not precede them. Option C, create a new data privacy policy, is incorrect because create a new policy would be premature without first understanding what changes are needed. Option D, form a committee to oversee the new requirements, is incorrect because a former committee might be helpful, but isn't the most efficient first step to address the immediate compliance need. 47. An organization implements continuous scanning, automated configuration verification, and regular compliance status dashboards. This approach to compliance is an example of A. External compliance monitoring. B. Compliance automation. C. Due diligence procedures. D. Right to be forgotten. Implementation. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Compliance automation. Explanation. Option B is correct because compliance automation specifically refers to using technology to automate compliance verification, monitoring, and reporting. Exactly what's described in the scenario with continuous scanning, automated verification, and automated dashboards. Option A, external compliance monitoring, is incorrect because external compliance monitoring would involve third parties verifying compliance, not automated internal tools. Option C, due diligence procedures, is incorrect because due diligence refers to reasonable steps to identify and address requirements, not specifically automation. Option D, right to be forgotten implementation, is incorrect because right to be forgotten relates to data deletion upon request, unrelated to the automation described. 48. Which of the following risk analysis methods uses subjective ratings like high, medium, and low rather than precise numeric values? A. Quantitative analysis. B. Qualitative analysis. C. Business impact analysis. D. Root cause analysis. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Qualitative analysis. Explanation. Option B is correct because qualitative risk analysis uses subjective categories and ratings, like high/medium/low, to evaluate risks rather than precise numerical values, making it more subjective, but often quicker to implement. Option A, quantitative analysis, is incorrect because quantitative analysis uses specific numeric values, typically monetary amounts. Option C, business impact analysis, is incorrect because business impact analysis determines the effects of disruptions, not necessarily using subjective ratings. Option D, root cause analysis, is incorrect because root cause analysis investigates the underlying causes of an incident, not a method of analyzing risk levels. 49. A company is evaluating a cloud service provider that will store sensitive customer data. Which of the following would provide the most objective verification of the provider's security controls? A. The provider's marketing materials about their security. B. A demo of the provider's security dashboard. C. An independent SOC 2 Type 2 report. D. The provider's internal security policy documentation. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. C. An independent SOC 2 Type 2 report. Explanation. Option C is correct because a SOC 2 Type 2 report is an independent assessment conducted by a third-party auditor that verifies the design and operating effectiveness of the provider's controls over time. It provides objective evidence rather than the provider's claims about their security. Option A, the provider's marketing materials about their security, is incorrect because marketing materials contains unverified claims created by the provider themselves. Option B, a demo of the provider's security dashboard, is incorrect because security dashboard demo shows features, but not actual security effectiveness. Option D, the provider's internal security policy documentation, is incorrect because internal policy documentation shows what the provider claims to do, but not a verification of actual implementation. 50. A company wants to ensure they can assess their vendor's security practices during the contract period. Which contractual provision should they include? A. Non-disclosure agreement. B. Service level agreement. C. Right to audit clause. D. Statement of work. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Right to audit clause. Explanation. Option C is correct because a right to audit clause specifically gives an organization the legal right to conduct security audits of a vendor's systems, processes, and facilities during the contract period. This allows for verification of security practices beyond initial assessment. Option A, non-disclosure agreement, is incorrect because NDA protects confidential information but doesn't grant audit rights. Option B, service level agreement, is incorrect because ESLA defines service levels but doesn't automatically include audit rights. Option D, statement of work, is incorrect because SOW details work to be performed but doesn't typically include ongoing audit provisions. You have reached the end of our question set. For the complete exam preparation experience, visit us at MyITCerts.com. where you find thousands more practice questions and comprehensive study guides. You can study completely free using our study materials and questions, and ace your exams with confidence. Thank you for studying with us today. See you in the next video.